Your biggest test is when your husband or your man gets another wife. How many of you are really ready for sisters? Your biggest test is when your husband or your man gets another wife. How many of you are really ready for that? You call yourself a sister, you call yourself, believing in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Do you believe that your man, your husband, this is God-given right to acquire another woman? You can't have no beef with that? How many of y'all really about that? Hey, brothers can speak from experience and certain things where we can tell you that that's going to be your biggest test. Whether you a first wife, second wife, third wife, whatever. That time is going to come when Isaiah 4:1 starts to kick off. Which the elder bro Yashawan, but I did a beautiful video about that. Entitled how is it? Apostles Paul advice or something like that pertaining to women in marriage. And as I was listening to it, I'm like, yo, a lot of these women are really going to be this. Because the topic is, you really serving the Lord when you're on this side. So a lot of you women, your test is going to begin when you start serving that man. To be single is one thing. I'm just putting it out there into the atmosphere because I know from experience. To be single is one thing, but now to serve a man of the Lord, that's when your mission really starts. Now you're serving that man, right? And let's say you get another wife, or he already have a wife. Now the dynamics of a woman learning how to coincide in the polygamous nature, whatever, that's gonna be a test because jealousy is gonna be the Western way of the way the concept of love and things, all of that is still gonna exist, and now you gotta totally delete that shit. Because if you're single, you really don't gotta battle that. Think about it. When you're single as a woman, you really don't have to battle that. But once you cross that line, you're dealing with one of these brothers here. Now separating what you were taught about relationships and love and marriages and shit like that, now it changes. Now everything you've been listening to, now you gotta apply it. And that's gonna be your test. And I know that for a fact, bro. I know that for a fact, and that's great. And that's gonna be
Yeah.
Congratulations. How many children do you have?
84.
84.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
70 wife,
17 wives.
Yes.
That's a lot of wives.
Yeah.
I have one wife, which is enough.
Yeah,
he can understand.
Maybe
a chat or like a screenshot from some Israelite woman basically trying to break down Isaiah.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn right.
Israelite woman trying to break down Isaiah 4:1, and due to her feminist nature, she totally went left and adding to the scriptures. Now, why this is not going to be so much focus on that, the Isaiah 4:1 kick, but this is going to go into the pride of you women, because when I was listening to the brother video, it really sparked the nerve in me, man, because like you women in America, you are extremely proud, okay? And brother made some excellent points. He said, look, it don't matter how fat your ass is or how pretty you think you are, the Lord don't give a fuck about that, because when you go into the time of the Maccabees, when Antiochus rode on the Jews, our people, literally the babies, because the scriptures goes into the suckling infant or the suckling of the woman's breast. So basically the newborns were stripped from the mother's breast and they were thrown down a fucking ravine, man, a ravine, man, like a cliff, man. Okay, like a valley, literally thrown off at high altitude down at this fucking mountain, man. We call it a ravine, you know. And basically the babies were taken away from the mothers, newborn babies. And remember, Antiochus was an Edomite, man. Okay, if you look up the history of the Seleucid dynasty, going into Antiochus Epiphanes IV, you know that Antiochus was one of the successors of Alexander the Great, one of his generals, man. And guess what? That spirit of Esau is coming back in the earth today. Okay, through the spirit of Biden, through the spirit of these presidents, these particular men who you put your faith in. This society is getting ready to crumble, and you women, man, you have been played left, man. Okay, because you're proud, you're feminist, You know, you think the world revolves around you. You think the Lord is dealing with you. But we're here to tell you the times we getting ready to enter into, all that proud shit, talking shit against men. You getting ready to have a rude awakening, man. Okay, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is fed up with you women. You know, because she basically stated that Isaiah 4:1 was going into first your daughter, your mother, your grandmother, and some other bullshit she was random. But if you read Isaiah 4:1, it says that we may be called by thy name so you can take away our reproach. I can't take away my mother's reproach. You know why? Because that's my mother. I was born of my mother through my father, if you get what I'm saying. I can't take away my sister's reproach because that's incest. Taking away a woman's reproach is basically marrying a woman and she's becoming your wife. Like me, I could take away my daughter's reproach because she's not married to a man yet. She's young. I could take away my woman's reproach because she's under me. But anybody else, my mother, my grandmother, I can't take away their reproach. But she tried to throw that in there because of the jealousy that these women have been plagued with, man. And that's a demonic spirit, to have a jealous, combative spirit like that. Okay, and the Lord didn't create that shit for you, man. Esau has ingrained that in you because of your proud, pompous behavior. Okay, because he give you these jobs, he give you these careers, he give you these vehicles, he give you these homes. You know, he give you everything that you need in order to survive, which calls you to be proud and exercise lordship over men, while putting his foot on an Israelite man's neck. You women have been totally put on a pedestal. So what happens once the cities of Babylon break down? What happens when there's a trucker strike? What happens when it comes time for mass evictions? Okay, mass layoffs from jobs. Because from what I've been researching, a lot of these companies have been laying off left and right, and found out that Chicago is getting ready to close half its Walmart stores, man. Okay, one in particular that's probably like 10 minutes from my mother's house. That store roughly been open 8 years, if that. Relatively new store. And they getting ready to shut doors on that shit, man. And you women are proud as hell. So what's gonna happen when you have men out here that's raping and pillaging and fucking people? What are you gonna do in that day? You know, you ain't gonna be able to call on a so-called white man, because you know what? He's gonna leave your ass out there to dry. Like Yahushua said, it says that they were weeping for Yahushua. Yahushua said, woman, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and your children. Now, remember the story of 70 AD, 67 AD, when you had what they called the siege of Masada. Okay, when the Romans rolled in and they besieged the cities and they entrenched everybody in, and they locked Jake in, and the ones that escaped, we fled to the wilderness in different parts of Europe. The dispersal or the diaspora, we fled because the Romans besieged Jerusalem. And who was those Romans? They were Edomites. Okay, the same cops, the same military, the same Senate you see today was the same motherfuckers that raided us 2,000 years ago. And guess what? That was during the time of the Roman, when the Romans, was during the time when the Romans was on the scene, during the time of the fourth beast. The beginning of the Roman Empire, man. And we're currently in the revival of the Roman Empire today. And we know, according to the scriptures say that what has been done shall be done. There's nothing new under the sun. So how much more today when they have advanced technology, okay? When they have they did a lesson yesterday. Boston Dynamics basically creating a dog, or they already got a dog named Spot that's able to fit GPSs on him, that's able to have sniper rifles equipped to his back. This is the shit you're getting ready to deal with. Military, you got all types of technology out here. You got infrared vision, okay? You got androids in the form of humans out here, and you women think you want to be proud, talking shit, fucking up the Lord, the name of the Lord, you know, acting like the Lord is dealing with you. This is why we tell you, man, just shut up and do what you're supposed to do, because you women, you're not gonna have a leg to stand on when Jacob's trouble come. And I guarantee you, with everything that I got, every ounce of being in my body, I guarantee you, majority of you will not survive this. Especially those of you that is not with a man of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And those of you that are with men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you better get your act together, and you better calm down. You better let go of the pompous behaviors, man, and get your mind right. Okay, because it ain't nothing for a man in the Lord to leave your ass behind in that day. If you're gonna get lippy, you getting left behind. You coming with your opinionated bullshit, you getting left behind. Okay? You ain't gonna have nothing to say to us in that day when things are falling the way they need to fall. Because a lot of you niggas are getting ready to be straight up put to death, man. And deservingly so. You know, you scoffers, you scorners, you men out there that's been talking shit towards the men of the Lord. Hey, you got your day coming in too. Because it tells you that men should be like women in that day, man. You know? So, hey, it's getting ready to get ugly. Yahushua said it. Hey, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and your children.